Good afternoon, everybody. Max Convexity here. Market's been closed 24 minutes. Let's take a look and see how everything finished up today. I looked at the 5-minute max spreadsheet and it looked like we had a hell of a recovery in a couple of those ETFs. So let's. Well, it was not a great day for USOY. Down 3.3%. Benchmark was down 4%, granted, but the good news is all the underlines either outperformed or tied the benchmark in the case of, I'm making sure this is right because they're the same number, but yeah, it looks like it is. All right. In the case of triple QY, they were both up 36 bips. Okay, triple QY made $1 million on the day. JEPY made nearly 400,000. IWMI lost 400,000. Excuse me. USOY is down 92,000 right now. This option trade is still open to Wednesday, and they aren't really down quite 92,000. This option trade still has some, this option premium still has some time premium left in it. Spreadsheet assumes it expires today. Now, that would be bad if it did expire today. Look at this option. We sold this option. It's a 77 strike option they sold. They got $1.71, which is good money, but we're trading at 71.83 right now. You know, I mean, that's crazy. Anyway, it's been a bad day for oil. Let's look at the chart real fast. Oops, I was looking at GameStop. Yeah, oil gapped down this morning and then closed on the lows of the day. All right. Well, anyway, the good thing about this trade not expiring until Wednesday is should oil bounce back, like I said, the spreadsheet assumes it expires today, in which case it would be a $97,000 loss. But in real life, it's probably really down about 80,000 right now because there's still a couple of days at time value in this option. And if the market happens to rally, that would be great. We'd like the market to rally to 77. That would be good for our USOY stock. All right. All right, but let's look here. So on the month, 9 cents a share positive. Is this right? Yeah, 11 cents a share. Look at this. It's IWMY. Let's check this out. This is interesting to me. Month just started and they're positive, even after today's loser. But they are positive $2 million. I need to fix that. I don't know where it's picking that up from. Gosh darn it. I thought I had all the little mistakes ran out of this sheet. In any event, let's just, I guess, until I do, let's just look over here. This fund is up 6 cents a share on the month. Dividend estimate 76 cents. JEPY is up 11 cents a share, and this is correct. On the month, dividend estimates 86 cents, which would be great. Oh my gosh, on JEPY. Remember, it's only the second or third day of the month. Last month, there were some crazy calculations on that number too when it was this early. All right, this fund is up 9 cents a share. Yeah, 9 cents a share, 85-cent dividend estimate. Yeah, that's crazy. JPY's dividend estimate right now is more than triple QY's. All right, like I said, I'd be willing to bet that changed. So let's see. Let's look over here at TLT. Okay, so bonds rallied today big time. TLT was up, 1.27 points. So we have TRES, which is supposed to monetize high volatility. Now, the volatility may not have been quite high enough for Tress to monetize it because it was down today. Interesting. But if I would be willing to bet if oil keeps going and does that another couple of days in a row, then Tress's prospects will look better. Let's look at a longer chart here. Let's look at a daily chart. See, on the daily chart, we started off the day right in the middle of the Bollinger Bands. Now we're, a little bit on the top side, but we're pretty much that's why Tress isn't making money yet. Tress needs to be outside of the daily Bollinger Bands. It is great. It's great that they had a big move in bonds, but the other thing about a big move in bonds is if you get a big sustained up move in bonds like you got right here, that means interest rates are coming down, and that can lots of times bleed into the market or cause the market to go up, or else maybe the market going up causes bonds to do this. But anyway, we want bonds to go up just in general. Okay, so let's look at the yield max funds now. Then we'll do a little, we can do, oh shit. Let's do this. Let's look at this. Let's look at a daily GameStop chart. All right. What do you guys think about this? I don't know if any of you guys watched my video. It's 28 minutes long. It was a four-legged trade you can do on GameStop that takes advantage of the high volatility and monetizes it and gives you all kinds of downside buffer. And anyway, the video's out on it now. But I also had a cheap trade you could do on FFIE. I don't know if any of you guys heard of this one, Faraday Future Intelligent Electric. I think this is either a short squeeze candidate or just they're talking about it all the time on Reddit. So people are saying this is going to squeeze. And well, I guess it did last week. It squeezed all the way to 262. But people are probably just buying it in sympathy. Look at this thing. Gosh darn it. Anyway, but there's a video, there's a cheap way to play this one also. But the more I look at it, this thing's only 64 cents. The best way to play is just you go buy shares, I guess. Anyway, I just have to make everything complicated. So I do have a cool strategy related to this one that you guys might like. All right, so go watch those videos. All right, Tesla. I wonder if that meme, that little explosion was just a one-day blip, and then tomorrow it's just back, back to normal, typical volatility of GameStop, or if we're going to get a sustained volatility event out of the deal. I guess Roaring Kitty tweeted last night or X'd last night or whatever. All right. So here's Tesla. You want to speak about grinding? Tesla's right on the 20 EMA, which is the middle line of Bollinger Bands, the way I do it. They're still under both of their strike prices. So they're still in good shape. Crash is in good shape too. Just assuming Crash is in good shape. Let's put it that way. I haven't checked on Crash in a few days, but Crash is doing his job. Selling those puts. Crash sold all the red strike prices. They sold that strike, they sold that strike, and they sold that strike. These strikes the market never got to, so they made a full profit on the options. This strike, the option never got to, so it was a full profit on the options. It did go through this strike right here. But anyway, you can't win every time, You can't win every time. Here's AMD on a daily chart. Here's a little NVIDIA. Maybe I should go back to 30 minutes. I don't know. I kind of like daily. So NVIDIA is blowing out one strike. They still have plenty of room to go till they get to the next strike, though. What was that, like 6% or something, I think. Something like that. All right, we'll check out Mr. Mr. looked like it was up huge. It looks like it's up huge on the buffer report because it is up huge. Look at Mr. it is up huge, but on this chart, it's barely a blip. On this daily chart, I mean, it's nothing. You wouldn't think today was anything out of the ordinary. All right, we'll zoom in here a little bit to 30 minutes so we can see kind of how it traded. So just kind of open and then traded sideways the rest of the day. All right, let's check out Amazon. Nice job, Amazon. Amazon turned around, closed on the high of the day, and arguably maybe closed outside the Bollinger Bands. Anyway, those are all good signs for those Amazon bulls out there. All right, so now let's look at the buffer report. Okay, this buffer report right here, okay, this one is for the month, and this goes back to the last declaration day. So this is what the fund has done since last declaration day, which was May 4th, I believe. No, I'm sorry, May 3rd. Yeah, May 3rd, 5-3. Well, Triple QI had a hell of a month. Look at JetQ outperforming. I mean, I always talk about how much I love Triple QI, but then I also hedge it by saying the JetQ is the gold standard. They're both great funds. I saw something today that was really, really impressive. I'll show you guys. We'll just look it up right here. Okay, so look at this. This is since 2022. So this is, I guess, since inception on JetQ. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. But since inception, JetQ is up. And I never quote the dividends reinvested. I always go to the bottom one because dividends reinvested, I mean, it's good to do. But anyway, I always quote this one. So JetQ did, without dividends reinvested, just taking the dividends in cash and put them in your bank account. Without even buying more shares. When you buy more shares, you even do a little better. But without even buying more shares, 24%. And that includes dividends, and that includes capital appreciation or NAV appreciation. So that's, the fund itself is only, the triple Qs were only up 38%. Now, yeah, and if, of course, because it is over a 2-year period, with the longer time period it is, the more it matters the dividends are invested. And so, yes, if you're investing it back in this stock, you could get 30%, but that's all theoretical. You don't have to. You could just take the dividends in cash, and you're up 25% basically, which is awesome over 2 years, especially when the parent asset is just up 38%. All right, look at this one though, really quick. Also, QQQQY without the benefit of compounding, and this is just half a year, so compounding doesn't make as big of a difference, but it still adds a point. But without the benefit, or no, it adds 3 points actually. Without the benefits of compounding, this fund, dividends and capital appreciation, triple QI is almost 14%, whereas the index is up 28%. That's a perfect 50% buffer. So that's, right now, 28, 14, whatever. All right. But anyway, that's a nice job, guys. And, look at this fund in the same, I will say this though. Well, no, I won't say that. Never mind. I was thinking of something, but I'm not going to say it. But it's just an impressive performance to be up, half or more. It's more impressive what JetQ did for sure. JetQ doesn't cap their upside to the extent the triple QI does. JetQ does monthly options. Monthly options have less of an upside cap. So that's why JetQ performs better on the upside. We haven't had a big downside year yet, but if we're down 30% in a year, I would expect triple QI to be down about 15%, and I would expect JetQ to be down about 25%. JetQ is more of a high power fund, and it's going to move with the market. It's going to have more volatility than triple QI. That's part of the reason why I like triple QI so much. Okay. I hate volatility. All right, let's look back at what else is going on here. Let's look back at the buffer report. I just wanted to show you guys that JEP-Q chart. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, they're getting about 80% of the darn upside. I mean, that's beautiful. Like I say, it means 80% of the downside too, typically, but man, you know, that's a great fund. Okay, so we'll go back to, there's my GME monster trade right there. We'll go back to the buffer report though. Okay, so this is for the month. The big standouts of the month were YMAX, triple QI, or actually, I'm sorry, benchmarks in blue. Okay, well that's fine. Those funds did all right, but YMAG was actually the big standout of the month, as was TLTW, as was IWMY, as was triple QI, as far as outperforming on the upside. Let's look at the single names. Remember, benchmarks in blue on this chart. So we don't have any outperformers. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maxi and YBit, big outperformers. Nice job, guys. Coney is a slight outperformer. On the downside, it's Murni, Sky, DSO, AMZP didn't have a great month. Okay, so this is just for the daily, and I hate to do this to you guys, but on this one, the bench is in red. The benchmark's in red. Anyway, so on the daily one, triple QI outperformed by 1 BIP. When I first came on here, it was even. Remember, it was 36 to 36, and I thought maybe I had an error on the spreadsheet or something. All right. ULTY had a nice day. YMAG had a heck of a nice day, as did IQQQ. TLTW had a nice day, and the oil complex was pretty much the only bad news. I mean, PAPI was down, but I mean, I never really talk about that fund, and it usually does great. So I'm just gonna, who knows? It may even be ex-dividend. We're right. A lot of these funds go X around the first or the last of the right around the last week of the month, or so it's. I bet you I missed a dividend on there or something. My apologies. Okay, so the daily change, once again, blue's the yield fund and red's the benchmark. But on the daily change, I mean, it's the same story every day. Misty and NVIDIA. Or it wasn't for a few weeks ago, it wasn't when they were pulling back, but it is lately. Okay, so I mean, oil bad, Misty and NVIDIA good is basically the story of the day, right? That's what it looks like to me. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. I'll be back probably this evening, or if not this evening, in the morning. Go watch that show on, if you're interested in complicated option trades and talking about option strategies, go watch that GameStop trade. You might be interested in it. In any event, I'm working on a general interest video also that should be out soon that hopefully everyone will like. All right, guys, have a good one.